I'm so sick of these people. You know, I'm the tribal chief around here. Yeah, you see me, the tribal chief. That's right.
I got that thing on me. I got that stick. I got that tool. I'm packing.
You must be some kind of a dumbass. And I will never retire.
You know, this aggression will not stand, man.
Get that garbage out of here!
It doesn't matter what you think.
It's still real to me, damn it!
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Friday Night Review. I am Scalz. Tonight I am just joined by my solo McMahon over there, Jamie. Just us two bringing it in. How are we doing tonight?
Man, we are doing fantastic. Actually, we are doing stupendous today.
I know you got home a little bit late.
Yes.
So did you watch any of Smackdown?
I did watch some Smackdown. I watched about the last 45 minutes of it. I missed the first hour, got caught up in some traffic. But I did go back and, looked at Twitter and read a few reviews. So we're rocking tonight.
All right. So let's start off with what we just saw. The main event. Is this our War Games?
That is your War Games team. You pretty much have everything probably laid out. Maybe Shotzi, maybe not Shotzi, and then one more.
So I think Shotzi is going to be the third member for Bianca and Charlotte. But who's the fourth?
Man, that is the intriguing piece. Do we get a call up?
Do we get somebody coming back and returning, even though no one's really missing from this brand?
Right.
Do they come back and move over to SmackDown? Like, there's lots of questions that we don't have answers to yet.
Who's that? Is that girl from New Japan? That's a free agent. Starts with a G.
Julia?
Yeah.
She's not a free agent until March, so you can get rid of that.
Okay, never mind. I don't know why I had that thought, but
no, I mean that would be awesome, but I don't know. If she's coming to WWE, she's gonna team with Io Sky and Kyrie and them. I don't think she'd be joining the other side. At least that's just my thought on it. My immediate reaction is if they stick with somebody that's on the SmackDown brand, Mishin is joining this team.
Yeah, I can see that.
That would be the one that I would feel would round out this. If they're bringing somebody from Raw, is this how Liv Morgan gets reintroduced?
Maybe. She has been on the shelf for a little bit.
I just hope if it is her that she is the one that gets, like, she's healthy. Like, they don't bring her back too soon.
Right. I mean, if you're thinking NXT, is this the way you bring up Roxanne Perez?
I don't know. Hold on. Why am I being told that I have subscribers only chat? I do. I did not enable this. Boom. Okay. Fixed.
If
All
you
fixed
subscribe
out.
to me for $4.99 per month, you get all these access to absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I don't know how that got set up. I'd never put on subscribers only. So, and there comes Dickosaurus Rex. All right. So, to start SmackDown tonight, you had two men on commentary. You only had Kevin Patrick and Michael Cole. And we want to give our congratulations out to Carmella and Corey Graves on their birth of their new child. Hope you guys
Life is
enjoyed
a
it.
beautiful thing.
So we were down one on commentary tonight, and who do we see step up? None other than Kevin Owens. And let me tell you, this man was a treasure on commentary while we had him.
Oh yeah, always.
If you've seen earlier on the Twitter that him and Nick Aldis had a little meeting, and the one stipulation was that KO could not lay any hands on any wrestlers or anything like that.
Right.
We'll get to that in a little bit.
Okay.
But just the way he handled himself, the way he was talking, it was hilarious. Like, I want him on commentary every week. Him and Pat McAfee together would be amazing.
Oh, that'd be so great. So great.
So we had Bailey come out first, and she was going through a whole spiel, everything else. And then she calls out Io Sky to the ring, and Io comes out with Dakota Kai and Kairi Sane. And they go back and forth. Io was like, well, we did this as a contingency plan to make sure that we kept the belt, like that we kept the title.
Mm-hmm.
Dakota was like, everybody, like, we're all on the same page. Why are you not? And Bailey brings up the fact that the last time we saw Kairi Sane in WWE, Bailey essentially sent her packing.
Yeah.
So Kairi gets on the mic and says she forgives her, and then she wants to have everybody come in for a hug. And Bailey's first response was, I don't do that anymore, which was great.
Oh, Bailey was so good in this segment.
And then they finally all come in for the hug, and then Bailey is just sitting there like, I don't like doing this. And I thought it was great. Like, I thought the way that they did this segment was perfect to a T, and it just made me more invested in what's going to happen because I know down the road it's coming.
Yeah.
And when it does happen, it's going to be that much more impactful.
Mm-hmm.
What was next? Next, we had
LWO.
We had Rey Mysterio and LWO come out. Rey starts talking. Santos comes out with him. Everybody's out there. They're talking. And then Carlito's music hits. And he comes out and he says, why are we not talking about the most important thing that happened? Why are you blaming Logan Paul when you should really be blaming Santos Escobar? He's the one that left the brass knucks on the ring apron, which is, I mean, if you were watching it, I know me, Will, and when we were all watching it, and we spoke about that and saying he's the one that did it. Why did he do that?
Right. I mean,
it's just like,
and that's something you've been bringing up like the last few shows, is that Escobar was the one that threw, the brass knucks in. So.
And it's just like, it's those little things that are happening that can make a difference in the storylines. And tonight it made a big difference. Carlito comes out, calls him out. Santos doesn't want to hear any of it, and then he leaves.
Yeah, when Carlito was doing the same thing that Escobar did like 20 years ago.
Right. So he leaves, and then you have Carlito versus Lashley in the match, which was a pretty good match. You got to see Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins ringside. They have a good match, go back and forth. And then you have LWO and Ford and Dawkins get into it on the outside. Here comes Santos. Evens everything up. Finally, Lashley gets the spear on Carlito, gets the victory. And then they start beating down Carlito after the match. And you have Santos Escobar standing on the ring apron just watching. And this is where everything that is interesting starts to happen. Did you go back and watch this segment or no?
I watched the segment. I did. Man. It's one of those things, it's coming, but it still pulls and tugs the heartstrings.
Just the way that he did it. Because then once Ray came out, he like gets in the ring like, "Oh, I'm here. I'm here to save the day. I can help." And Ray's like, "Well, what were you doing?" And then they start going back and forth. Ray shoves him, and Santos is like, I can't. Like, I'm not going to do anything." And then he goes to leave, and Ray's back is turned, and that's when he strikes. And we get the heel turn from Santos that we have all been wanting for months now.
Mm-hmm. So, and like, this is also a way to kind of write Ray off of TV. So everyone's like, oh, the whole thing about LWO, is it going to be Ray or is it going to be Santos? I'm thinking, is it going to be Carlito
Jax
or Santos? That's kind of your inner warfare right now, because by the looks of that, they're kind of writing Ray off for a little bit.
I don't think we're going to have LWO for much longer.
We'll probably just get Legado back.
I think so. That's what I think is going to happen. Because right now, who do you have left in LWO if Cruz and Wild go back to with Santos?
Mm-hmm.
You have Ray, Zelina, and Carlito. Not much.
Really, they're really short on baby faces, you'd think. It's really
I feel like SmackDown. I
really
feel like
feel
SmackDown
heavy.
Excuse me. I feel like SmackDown is short on a lot of things. We just touched base on the women's division. You already have 7 members. There's only literally 3 other women on the roster. You have Mishin, you have Scarlett, and you have Zelina Vega.
And Scarlett don't really wrestle like that.
But those are the 3 other women that you'd have on a roster. That's how I got to my decision of Mishin being the one that would fill in.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why, but I still think it's an NXT call-up. I don't know.
If it was going to be an NXT call-up,
it would be Roxanne Perez.
She doesn't have history with anybody that's in that ring. So to me, that would not make sense.
I mean, I don't think anyone from NXT has really history with anybody.
I mean, you have people that are on Raw that have history with this team.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Probably Liv.
Liv, even though Liv should not team with Charlotte because they hate each other, essentially.
Yeah.
Unless this is how you debut Cora Jade on the main roster. But Cora's a heel. You wouldn't put her with the baby faces.
True.
So that to me doesn't make sense. I don't know. I have to think about this. I got to think about this because I'm confused as to who this 4th person could be. People were saying Jade Cargill. No, this isn't how you debut Jade. No.
Who's the 4th woman?
I don't think so. Yeah, I have to think about this. It's gonna bother me. But yeah, we got the heel turn for Santos. It's gonna be leading towards Santos versus Carlito first, eventually building up to Santos versus Ray. I can see that happening at the Rumble. If not the Rumble, maybe Mania, pushing it out that far. Next, we had an LA Knight promo, which he just cooked it all over the place. LA Knight is so good on the mic. He's so good in the ring. He's probably one of the top guys right now, and I'm here for it.
What do you mean I don't love you anymore, brother? Come on.
I think that was
Oh my
more of a.
God.
You're not wrong, Will. You're not wrong.
Wow.
And then you had Grayson Waller come out, and then you got the LA Knight versus Grayson Waller, and it was a really good match. Last year was 5-on-5, but all of the NXT versions of it were 4-on-4. So it's very intriguing as to what they're going to do. If they do 5-on-5, who are you going to get as the fifth member for Damage Control? Because Dakota Kai is not ready to come back.
Wait, no. Asuka.
Kyrie, Io, Bailey. Who would you have as the fifth?
Oh.
I think the one that you're talking about, Will, it was 3 teams of 3. That's what it was. They did that. I remember that one.
That one
was with
insane.
That was Undisputed Era.
Sanity.
And who was the third one?
Imperium.
Oh man, I have to go watch that one back. That was so good.
Speaking of Paul Ellering, Will, and we're talking about NXT, I missed the Authors of Pain.
Apparently they were coming back. They were supposed to be signed at one point. From everything I've heard.
The only way to bring him back is if you bring back Paul Ellering.
He was supposed to.
Only way.
He was supposed to come back with them. That was rumors. See? Will's even saying they're apparently on contract. They're just not being used yet.
I would debut him back on NXT, have them run over the whole division, and then make their way onto the main roster and do the same thing.
Flair is already on the team, Cam. It's Flair, Bianca, and Shotzi right now are the 3 for the one side, and Damage Control has 4. I was trying to make it make sense with who would fit in with this.
I mean, it is the World Wrestling Entertainment. I mean, it doesn't have to make sense.
Yeah, but the war games are supposed to be battles.
Yes, very storyline driven.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just messing with you, Scalz.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm trying to I'm debating. I'm trying to figure out who this could possibly be if they go to 5-on-5. I mean, you did bring up Roxanne Perez, which Cam also brought up. So that is something that could be on there.
I mean, the heel team's the one that's got to be more story driven, really, than the babyface side. You could throw in any babyface to make the save, and then create story from there.
But who would be the fifth one for the women for the Damage Control? Who would that other heel one be?
That's where.
I mean, it would make sense if it was Xia Li, if you want to go with that route. But she's going towards the NXT Championship. I mean, see, if you put Roxanne Perez on the babyface side and you put somebody else in there, then it would make sense to have Cora Jade debut on the heel side against Roxanne Perez.
There you go.
So that would fit that.
You just booked it yourself.
Zoe Stark's going for the title the same night. She won't wrestle in 2 matches, Will. I'm trying to think of who the other person would be.
Yeah, Will. Anyways.
All right. Like I said, I have to think about this.
Dragon Lee and Cedric Alexander put on a banger.
Freaking banger. That match was amazing. Dragon Lee's entrance is one of the best. I love his entrance. I think it's so cool what they do. They need to have more entrances like that, not just these Videotrons of people's names.
I've been saying this. I know, Scaz, you've probably been saying this on XT on Tap. Free shout out. But Dragon Lee is that guy to take the mantle as the top, Mexican superstar from Rey Mysterio. Like, that's the guy. He has all the tools. He has all the credentials. Dragon Lee is him.
I get what you're saying, Cam, where it doesn't need to make sense. But if you have people on the other side and that fifth person could make sense going against them, it works better. It works better in the long run. And it could be a way to build up the SmackDown Women's Division because they don't really have people. So maybe you get Mishin and Roxanne Perez on the one side, and then you have Cora Jade. What's going on, Shadow?
Speaking of something other than wrestling, how about them Buds? Beat the Canucks, right? 5-4. Go Leafs, go.
Yeah, tonight that match. Dragon Lee took a rough spot though, where he landed on his head on that one into the corner.
Cedric Alexander yeeted him. The coach needs to go. Ryan Reeves needs to go.
Quidditch is Saturday, Jamie.
We ain't talking no Harry Potter, fool.
He calls hockey Quidditch.
Quidditch. Rinkside Chatter, Saturdays, Off the Top Media.
10 p.m.
I
What
love
else
how
happened on
this has just turned into a big advertisement for the NXT show in hockey.
And then after we had that with Dragon Lee and Cedric, after the LA Knight and Grayson Waller match, KO is taken. Be quiet, Shadow.
LA Knight versus Grayson Waller.
Great match. At the end of the night, Grayson Waller was thrown out to the outside, and Kevin Owens is making fun of him. He gets on a teleprompter, starts drawing little circles. He relives what happened last week, or 2 weeks ago, where he punched both Grayson Waller and Austin Theory with one punch. All these teleprompters was great. They go to commercial, come back. Here comes Grayson Waller and Austin Theory out to ringside. They pour a bottle of water over Kevin Owens' head, say something about one of his friends. They brought something up, and they start to walk away. They go up to the ring. Kevin Owens goes, "Well, Michael Cole, I'm about to go get suspended." Michael Cole goes, "Go for it. I don't blame you." KO runs back, beats them both up, and then actually stuns Austin. Goes to stun Austin Theory. He gets out, and then he turns around and stuns Grayson Waller. Walks him back. He's going to have a meeting with Nick Aldis, and we'll see what comes from that. Nothing was officially announced yet, Cam, but it's definitely set up that way in the main event, which we're about to talk about now.
Well, if the men are doing something, the women got to do it too.
Right.
And speaking
the
of
men's is on Raw, so the women's would typically be on SmackDown, so not using wrestlers from the same roster on both.
I do have a question for Cam. After last week's interactions with Kevin Owens and the Down Under team. Anyways, does this make Kevin Owens the one-man punch? The one punch man. That's a question. I don't do the anime. But Take that as you will, Cam. Is Kevin Owens the One Punch Man?
You had a little video package on John Cena with Solo
I agree,
Sikoa.
Shadow.
Announced that Solo Sikoa will be returning next week. You have...
Yeah. Solo Sikoa returns next week. Throws up the Roman graphic. Like, is Buddy now starting to think he's the tribal chief all of a sudden?
And then you have Jimmy Uso come on screen saying that he's going to accept the challenge from LA Knight, saying, if you want to fight me, we'll fight next week. And then Roman calls him. And I don't even know what Roman said, but Jimmy's demeanor immediately changed.
Told him to stop eating.
It's very possible. He hates that.
I think we need make our own graphic like that for next week and have Cam G returning next week. Fight Night Review.
That's funny. So then we come to the main event, which was Asuka, Bianca, and Charlotte versus Damage Control, aka Bayley, Io Sky, and Kairi Sane.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of this match?
I mean, the match was what it was. I don't really want, there's no criteria for the match because of what the afterbirth was. So there's no really, if we were grading it on a scale of 1 to 5, it's not applicable. But what we got from it was great. The segment we talked earlier, it was pretty good. So, and it sets up what you presume as your War Games match.
Now, I was actually enjoying this match quite a bit. Got to see Kairi get some offense in. And then I predicted what was going to happen earlier in the night. I said that we were going to have someone turn on one of their partners and join the other side. And I was proven correctly when Asuka sprayed the mist in Bianca's face. So then you had Bianca join in with Damage Control. Asuka calls out Kairi. They give themselves a big hug. They call Io over, hug again, and then they call Bayley over, and Bayley is shocked, like, you're calling me over for a hug? And this time she goes in for the hug, and she does the hug. So a little bit different situation from the start of SmackDown to the end. Is the hugger coming back? Is that what we're going to get out of this after everything is done?
I don't think necessarily, but, they're definitely putting the feelers in. And it's coming. It's coming.
Because Asuka, Io, and Kairi together are going to be forming their own faction. They're going to split off from Damage Control. I said it when Kairi came back and joined Io that something was going to happen. And I think it's time for Bayley to go back to being a face. Yes, Cam, I agree. She is so much better now than she was. She does not need to go back to the hug or gimmick. But I think it is time for her to be a face.
Yes.
I think it's time for her to be a face, and that's how she wins the title back.
Also,
because we don't have baby faces on Raw, on SmackDown, I mean, outside of Charlotte, Bianca, and Shotzi. And I really am tired of the first two that I mentioned having the title. We need somebody new on that brand to have the title. And it would make more sense to have Bayley be the one to beat Io Sky.
Yeah. Speaking of Damage Control, if we were to, pretty much scatter the pieces, you have, those three women you talked about, Io, Kairi, and Asuka being a faction of their own. You have Bailey doing her own thing, being one of the top babyface women. Where does that put Dakota? I think what I would do
back on Raw, teaming with
back
Tegan
on Raw.
Knox.
You want Team Kickback.
Absolutely.
My thing would be pair her back up with Raquel. Run back Kai and Big Mommy Cool.
Wasn't that like a short-lived thing for like 3 weeks?
It was a little bit longer than 3 weeks, but
we need
it was enjoyable. Run that back.
We need tag teams in this Winners division. You have Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. You have Chelsea Green and Piper Niven.
Chelsea Green.
You can't say it like Samantha Irvine.
I'm not trying to.
That's how she says it.
I was just trying to exaggerate it like everyone else does.
And then what other tag? And then you have Sexy Ninja Dance Party. Kaden and Katana Chance and Kaden Carter.
Yeah, let's not call it like that. Let's just Kaden Carter and Casey Catanzaro.
She's injury prone because she got injured twice. This is funny that you actually say that because I saw people today on Twitter saying that Liv Morgan is injury prone. Liv Morgan has been in the WWE for how many years now? I think it's about 10 or 11 years. She's missed 9 months at most of injury. No, it was a storyline that she missed a week. Cam, she was gone a week after the match with Becky. But yeah, I think Dakota and Tegan will be better. We'll be back. Anything else we want to talk about on Friday Night Review?
Football.
Hey, Sammy, what's going on? How are we doing tonight? I meant about SmackDown. Is there anything else we want to talk about for SmackDown?
What you got to say? No.
All right.
Let's move on from wrestling.
So I hope everybody had a good time tonight as we end it out.
Miss you, Cam.
Jamie, where can we find you?
You can find me at Jimmy Rosex on all my socials. You can find me doing the shenanigans with Down State Wrestling, and you can find me here, Friday Night Review, Off Top Media. Also, you can find your boy Cam G at all his socials at I can't do it. Let the man do his justice. I can't. You know where to find Cam. We miss you.
You can find me here on Off the Top Media on Twitch and YouTube, as well as Off the Top Media _ on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. So tomorrow night, 10 p.m., right back here on Off the Top, there'll be Ringside Chatter. You're going to have it hosted by Shadow, Dusty, and they have a special guest tomorrow night. Sunday morning, 11 a.m., you have Rivet City Red Zone, which is hosted by Mike and John. They discuss anything that happened the previous day in college football, as well as they preview everything that is going to be happening in the day of NFL. 8 p.m. on Rivet City Radio as well, you have Boss Boss and Share Shots, hosted by the Will Gray. And then following that, you have the Table Spot at 10 p.m. on Rivet City Radio as well, hosted by Metalcore Mike and Alpha Wolf Sean. I hope everybody had a great evening. Thanks for stopping by. And make sure to check out on YouTube all the new videos that we have posted. Catch you guys soon.
Miss you, Cam.